of legend is sung of when England was young, and knights were brave and bold. The good king had died, and no one could decide who was rightful heir to the throne. And that miracle appeared in London town. The sword in the stone.
The 18th Disney animated feature film is based on the novel of the same name that was published as far back as 1938. Finally, in 1963, Disney worked its magic, giving the old fable a movie adaptation. This magical family film is directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, whose name might sound familiar from working on other Disney films such as The Rescuers. The Sherman Brothers, who worked on the lyrics for the music, were new to this, being that The Sword in the Stone was their first feature film, but would later write music for Disney's classics such as Mary Poppins, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, and The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The plot is something we've seen several times before, through books, TV shows, and various versions of the story from cartoon to live action. The film was nominated for Best Score by George Bruns, and won a Box Office Magazine award, being hailed as the best picture of the month for the whole family. But even though the film was never widely successful, Disney has always been known for putting its spin on things, and The Sword in the Stone is no exception. The majority focus is on Merlin and Wart, also known as the future King Arthur, shape-shifting into different animals. And I think that was mainly the problem. Even though it was fun to see and had a lot of hysterical moments, it took away from the center of the story. And the film's villain, Mad Madam Mim, doesn't show up or is even heard of until the third act, which makes her character pretty pointless. Her only purpose is to give Merlin someone to fight against. Which again, it was funny, but it could have had more meaning behind it, instead of it just being to prove who's more powerful. I think if we were introduced to Madam Mim before now, it would have paid off better, and maybe taken itself a little more seriously, not too much. I understand Disney doesn't want to go too dark because it wants to appeal to its younger audience, and you'd also end up with another Black Cauldron on your hands. If they only focused on a little less shape-shifting and a little more storytelling, since it is based on a timeless tale, it had a lot to live up to. And following from the book, it fails to comparison. The animation for its time is really nice to look at, and it's something any fan of Disney classics can look forward to. And it does have Walt Disney's stamp on it, before his passing and the making in the 1967's Jungle Book. And it has that old school melody, operatic singing, with an opening to an old book, where more recent films have made a parody out of it, such as Shrek. And in many ways I think that this movie is very similar to that film. It's very self-aware, the time period of the Dark Ages, but also acknowledges the future, making it a unique fairy tale. And that's what The Sword in the Stone is. That's much better than being basic, and as many times as the story has been told, it's never been told quite like this.